Hello and welcome to Meet Your Inspiration podcast with Meri and Rich. Here we're talking about inspiration, motivation and empowerment. Our guests are ordinary people who became extraordinary. We're sharing their stories. We want to empower you to become the person you want to be and to go beyond your dreams.
This morning, our special guest is Sonia Pace. Sonia, great to have you with us this morning. So Sonia is a life coach and she's working particularly around footballers and she has athletes and she has quite an amazing story. So welcome.
Welcome to Meet Your Inspiration podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So what are we going to talk today? Premier League, sports, football, women, everything, yes. And most important, I think the point will be how we met is really cool stuff. But how you help ex-athletes to carry on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we spoke that this sometimes might be really difficult.
Exactly. And, a lot of the time people have an an idea that they want to play a particular sport with a team or, it could be, we'll take football for the example. And they go through an academy and they either don't make it and then they feel a bit lost, or they're partway through a career, they can get injured or have stuff happen at home, like they might have to relocate nationally, internationally, divorce, social media stuff, all these things kind of challenge them, and no one really thinks about how it's affecting them day to day, and it could have a massive impact on the pitch as well. But for me, it's also more about the life after their sport, the football. A lot of them come to the end of it and they think, well, there's a big wide world out here. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And where I come in is kind of coaching them through their own passions. A lot of people get pigeonholed into things throughout their career. Even I did in my early career. I kind of went from job to job just because I fell into it, not because it's what I wanted to do. And I have noticed a trend where a lot of ex-footballers, we'll take the footballer scenario, they get told, go and invest in property, go and do this, go and do that. But they've got their own minds. We all have our own minds. And we're never truly happy unless we follow our own passion. And I have gone through that myself, so I understand fully what it is like when you're plodding along, or you're lost, or you get into bad habits. I know a lot of athletes fall into gambling or whatever because they're just lost. They don't know what to do, so they find something to do. Whereas if they have the appropriate support and coaching, they can, through their own kind of coaxing out of them with the right questions, which obviously I do, find out what their real passions are and what they want to do, what their purpose is, with clarity.
Sounds cool, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. But how I met Sonia, because Rich, I met Sonia.
You did.
And that was, I don't know if we like to call these things coincidence or not, but I think it was earlier this year. End of last year, I fall in love with the brand Tropic because the product and because their infinite purpose. And it's a skincare made in UK, freshly made, absolutely awesome brand. And in January was a team meeting or something like that. So
I did. December, actually.
Was it December? I'm losing it. Yeah, okay. It was December. Oh gosh, time is flying. So it was, and we went. It was like a morning thing. I didn't know anyone except the lady that introduced me to Tropic. I walked in that beautiful house. It was really nice. Met, quite a few people. We sat at the table, but coincidence or not, Sonia was sitting next to me. So we had a little bit chat, who is doing what. I mentioned podcast. She was, that's exciting. I've got a radio show. So we talk different things. And after that, we kept that connection. We met on a few events about Tropic. And now you end up here because we talk about podcasts. We talk about, I really like what is Sonia's purpose and what she wants to do. And I'm really curious to learn much more about it. And not long ago, we had here another guest that I'm pretty sure your stories somehow, or at least what you're doing now, will cover Patrick.
Yeah, because he
And,
works around football as well.
Yes, so
He
I'm
does.
pretty sure. We'll do some introductions, and who knows, the magic will happen.
Always
But
does.
let's start off about you, and we're taking you back in the time, and we go quickly through your background to tell us when you finished school, what's happened with you, which path did you take, and did you know back then what you want to do?
Strangely, it will make sense later, but I've pretty much gone full circle. So I left school, went to college to do like a sport diploma, and it was in a kind of roughish end of London. I grew up in London, and it was one of the colleges in Putney, I think it was, and the tutors weren't turning up, the students weren't turning up. So after about time seems forever when you were younger, doesn't it? I thought, well, there's no point in this. And, you know, I found a part-time job, and I thought, well, earning money's a lot better. So I ended up going from like retail, covering reception, went off travelling, came back. Then because I'd done reception, because I'd gone to a job agency, so, oh, I'm looking for work. What have you done? Oh, we'll find you a reception job. Oh, what do I want to do? And it kind of just went from reception job to then doing more officey stuff. And I just kind of progressed through various, in fact, quite a few office jobs, job to job to job. Everywhere I went, I always progressed really well. They always wanted to keep me on permanently if it was a temporary contract. But something was just not quite right. And obviously I went through things, and I ended up working on a game day at football clubs just to kind of have a dose of football, I suppose.
Were you a football fan at that point?
Yeah, always been a football fan. Didn't support the same team as my dad. I followed my own
Which
path.
is your team?
I follow Tottenham. My dad was a Man United fan. So there's always that kind of little bit of sentiment whenever the two teams play.
Yeah.
So, you know, having been to the Europa final and we won it, I remember looking at going, sorry, Dad, my turn to have the glory now. You know.
But at least you stayed local. At least you were following a local team.
Yeah, local enough. Yeah, more. Well, he did live in Manchester, so I'll.
Okay.
Okay. So local for each of you.
Yeah. So I've always liked football, and
so working this day.
So that it was event days doing stewarding. Didn't really enjoy it, but it kind of got me there while I waited for a season ticket. I was on a season ticket list for years.
Wow.
So that's always been my main passion.
And did you play? Did you ever play?
I used to play on and off, but nothing major. I always had a desire to see the women's game go professional. So for me, I'm like, it's nice to see like the Lionesses do well and things like that. So yeah, it's good to see. But then I'm like, if only it happened when I was younger. But
yes, if I must be honest, sounds maybe not very right, but until they start a few years ago to become a big thing, the women football, they haven't been much into it or no. I grew in a family that my brother and my dad are insane about football. All the TVs for football at home. I knew all the players while I was living there. It was just, and I love it. I still, up to today, I enjoy watching a football game, but I never knew much about the women football until the Lionesses start to become a big thing. And in general, I think the women football is becoming a much bigger thing.
Yeah, they're trying to sort of uplift it. And there is a divide at the moment where if you look at sports in general, like, you know, it could be ice hockey or whatever the sport is, I'm pretty sure that football is the only one where you hear people say the women's football team. And I know with football, the women's team at the moment in most capacities are reliant on how well the men's team are doing for funding and things like that. So it's still got a long way to go, I think.
Oh, yes.
At least they don't fall over as much, which is good.
Yeah, but that was surprising.
That never used to happen.
Yeah, and that's not very fair. I really don't find it fair, but not that everything in life is fair, but the salaries between the women football team and the men, they are huge gap between them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. Even if we take the national teams, they go and present the same country.
Yeah.
Why the men will need to be paid, I don't know, triple or five, I don't know. I know
Depends
that
on
it
the
was
team.
a lot difference, which is not quite fair, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there is a divide. It will probably catch up with time, but factoring when women's football went professional, it's going to take a bit of time. So, yeah, it will.
But it's getting more and more
players,
popular, though. But I mean, the amount of people who go and watch ladies' football is
And
unbelievable.
the girls that want to play football
Yeah,
absolutely love this impact and inspiration that these women play for the youngsters. Because local football team that there is, there's so many more groups of girls they've got because the girls want to play football.
Yeah,
And
and that was me even at primary school. I was the only girl playing.
But back then maybe it was
teachers used
weird.
to say, it's a boys' game, you shouldn't be playing football. Obviously things have changed, thankfully, now. Then eventually I think they're like, oh, actually she's not too bad. But then I was too shy, scared to play on my own as a female, as a girl. So I remember saying to the teachers, I'll only play if my friend can play.
But it was very different times.
Yeah.
I was playing in the neighborhood with the boys because, obviously they were all boys and there was one girl and me. And I mean, I was enjoying, but I wasn't like the biggest fan of it, but it was fun. But you can't compare the times with now, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. Things move on, don't they?
Okay, so, yes, we take you a bit off from your path, but you were enjoying, obviously, being steward and...
Yeah, it was just
enjoying
part of the journey, and then it got to a point. Eventually, I got like my own season ticket, and I went through a divorce. And then I was like, I need to fund this. So I ended up working a couple of different football clubs on event days, and also
this work, was it voluntary or it was paid?
Paid. It's kind of like living wage scenario, not something much, but then I had a separate pot that kind of built up the funds to pay for a divorce. And it kept me not so much out of mischief, but it kept me kind of focused on what I wanted. I wanted to kind of go down my own path and kind of, I guess, start afresh. And I also wanted to work part of the Rugby World Cup, and I worked at Twickenham as well for RFU, and that was actually really enjoyable because you go in and they recognise talent, and that doesn't happen very often where you go. Again, it was just event day, but then I could see how, no disrespect to the good security, but I could see how some of them weren't really checking people, and I was like, so they're getting paid double what I am. I would do a better job. So that inspired me to then go and get a security license, just so I can up my wage and I thought, pay for this divorce a little bit quicker. And, did that. And pretty quickly they gave me better positions, more responsibility, and obviously the money that comes with it. And again, they recognised talent. So I was doing, because of my office skills, I then ended up working non-event days, kind of booking people in, and when there was like off-game training and stuff like that. So it kind of gave me little things, and I still couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. So I just carried on, as you do. And because I've never liked the office work, I was always good at it.
Did you like working with people? Because obviously, you're straight away working with people. Surrounded by obviously
it depends on the people.
It's a big team as well, isn't it? I mean, if you're doing security like at a big ground, you're dealing with a lot of people, and you must be part of a huge team because there's people coming in everywhere, all the different entrances.
Yeah, I mean, it depends kind of game to game. I mean, certainly when I was at Twickenham, it was like I was part of the kind of entrance team that then was kind of deployed to pitch side. And for the final, that was great. I was like only like a couple of people away from the sort of subs bench. So this is good. So that was like back in 2015. So remember that like so clearly, and that's some moments I'll never forget.
The inspiration starts from.
It's like they're finding a way to be around the sports, and then then it sort of slowly started dawning on me. I'm like, okay, why am I doing all this office work? Like, I'm good at what I do, but I don't quite enjoy it. There are sometimes there are jobs that I did enjoy more than others when I was part of a team and I wasn't snooted upon for, being the admin manager or the, whatever it may be. And it got to a point, I then, obviously going through a divorce, I kind of went into a bit of hiding and put on quite a bit of weight and ended up not really going out much unless it was work. And I was kind of in a bit of a shell. I didn't know what to do, where to go.
Your confidence went a little
yeah,
bit. You're losing confidence.
If I'm not even going to talk about the divorce side of things and that, but my confidence was absolutely knocked by then. I didn't, I wasn't even interested in dating or anything. It was just like, no, don't want to know anything. But ended up kind of just nosing online at like a local fitness group. So I joined them and I won a local transformation, it was a random 8-week challenge. And mine was the visual transformation, like the before and after in 8 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't want my picture taken, but they encouraged me. And that was kind of the start of me finding that interest in my own fitness and health. Even though I used to play in the early years doing in and out of the gym, as most people do, fad fitness things, and then just go back to what you was doing. And there must be more to it than this. So then I joined a gym, but I was like, oh, I can't go in there, don't know what I'm doing. It's that kind of hesitation. It's kind of which I think is a common thing with most people. If it's unknown, you have that hesitation. And I remember then changing up the gym I was going to, because they did like a Zumba class. And a girl that I kept doing the same classes with, we became friends. She'll know who she is when she's watching this. So yeah, we went to this other gym for this Zumba, and she started showing me stuff in the gym that her personal trainer was showing her. And I started having panic attacks, like, oh, and I'd literally go off running. And I was doing boxing class as well. And I remember the instructor that was doing the boxing class saw me one of the occasions, like literally I'd hide in the changing rooms. And he randomly said to me, one of the classes, oh, have we got a few minutes after the class? I want to show you something. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, follow me after the next boxing session. And he introduced me to 3 people. And these 3 people were 3 of the people that I probably was scared of in the gym. And then looking back, I was probably scared of my lack of knowledge looking back, but I didn't know that at the time. But he introduced me to these 3 people and he said, guys, Sonia's training with you from now on. I'm like, what? And then we swapped numbers and I started like training in the gym with these people who'd done like Miami Pro things. And I was like, well, these people have literally just taken my hand, they're holding my hand and showing me how to do stuff. And then I started really noticing the progress in, my own kind of weight loss. I don't like losing loss, because if you lose something, you want to look for it.
But you're becoming fitter, stronger, and building confidence.
And confidence, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I like this. And then doing the boxing classes still, and I ended up being pretty stronger than a lot of the guys as well. And I thought, oh, I like this, confidence going up and up and up.
When you see the progress, that's the thing, isn't it? As soon as that's happening, you see a progress, and you can see how you're actually improving and getting stronger, and then you can look back and go, well, that was a good day, and the more that happens, the stronger you get. And
then you go back for more, don't you? So that was kind of how I then ended up training to become a personal trainer. And I did, it was like an intensive level 2, level 3. It was about 12 weeks long. You pass one, then you go on to the next. So my week was my 9 till 5:30 job. Evenings I'd be heading my workbook. Weekends would be at the training centre doing our kind of workshops and practical stuff. Then I passed that, and then I thought, oh, okay. what now? Ended up working in this gym that I used to have panic attacks in.
As a personal trainer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was doing that alongside my full-time job and very slowly kind of building my business alongside doing that. Knowing at the back of my mind, I think originally I thought, I could do a bit of both to keep the variety. But then it dawned on me, the people I was working for, I'd asked them for some flexible working so I can go and see my dad, who was in a care home. And they said, no, you can go see him after work. I'm like, it's like 2.5 hour drive to get to him. I'm like, he'll be sleeping. They put them all to sleep at 6:30, 7 o'clock. So it just wasn't viable. So that gave me more of a, the fire in me. I was like, I need to find a way. I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. And I sort of checked how I was doing financially. Obviously, I started then stopping doing the security and stewarding to focus on my own business. And I left that job at the Christmas before COVID. So that's when I kind of started, getting rid of employed work, so to speak. And having that, remembering why, I was a slave to these people, so to speak. And when you start to see their values don't match up with yours, like the job that I did kind of changed while I was there, and it didn't sit with me, some of the things that I had to do in terms of like literally bullying people over the phone to do certain things or to sign bits of paper. I didn't like that. It didn't sit with me. And leaving that job was the best thing I did, because
very brave decision.
Through Christmas, I didn't have enough clientele at the time to stand up on my own 2 feet, but I knew with January coming, when most people start their kind of fitness journeys.
This was a great opportunity. Yeah.
And that was before I knew anything about the mindset side of things, really. I've got to be there and present to show myself to people so people know I'm there and available. But had I not have done that, I wouldn't have been able to then build my business. To then, I saw my dad at Christmas, New Year, and then unfortunately I saw him for the last time on his birthday 6 years ago in February, because then we had all the lockdowns and stuff like that. And sadly, he passed away a week into the first lockdown. Wow. So it's coming up for 6 years. So,
so for sure, you did really the best decision.
Yeah, you did.
Because I would have been very bitter, very kind of, I don't know how I would have felt had I not have.
And most probably inside you knew that is the thing to do it, because obviously you knew the best about your dad, but
what having the freedom.
Yes, and this is the thing.
Sometimes life has that moment, doesn't it? It just changes just at the right moment, and it sounds like it did.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously we had lockdowns, and it meant.
How did you go through that? Obviously, like building your business, you can't be obviously in the gym to help the people. Yeah. What you were doing during that time?
Well, the intention originally was to venture into, doing remote sessions online. Obviously, when I lost my dad, I didn't want to do anything. And I did take on a job at Tesco's. I thought, what can I do that's going to keep me fit, just healthy? And I thought, I hate shops. I get... No. I'm literally, right, what do I want in and out? Like, I avoid shops at Christmas. I go to the smaller shops. I prefer small independent shops anyway. I thought, well, what can I do to help the nation keep going? Right, I'll just get a job that's, lifting stuff, moving stuff, picking people, shopping. It's going to keep me going. Because I hadn't been solo long enough to get this furlough stuff that was going on. So that was that part of it. And then did a couple of other things as well. When obviously things eased up, I started training people in parks and started building stuff up again. Even had a job working for Sky, doing the installations of Sky dishes. Wow. Because that's more me, the active and outdoors as well.
Definitely.
I'm finding a way.
Yeah.
And that was me trying to try out a few different things. I'm like, well, looking back, hang on a minute. I was pigeonholed into all these office jobs. That never was anything I wanted to do.
But look how it started, because nobody ever asked you the question,
what do you want to
do? They just follow, because when you were, I don't know, what is that, 17, 18, when you start the job just because you found a job and you start to explore then, and they suddenly start to decide that this is what you want.
Yeah.
It's amazing how often it's a stereotypical thing. Oh, well, you should go into this particular role. Right.
Yeah. Oh. And the amount of office jobs I had where it's very girly, cliquey, you know, I get on with people, anyone that wants to get on with me. But I probably get on better because of my interest in sport. I get on better with males because there are more males into sports traditionally than women, especially football. And for me, it's like, well, when I was in a pool of secretaries, say, I would end up sitting away from them because I didn't like the
interest of their chat.
That was never me. You know, the gossip, the chit chat, and I'm like, this is like, no, it's not me. And there was a lot of probably jealousy, I think, when I would take on extra roles because I wasn't just happy to sit there listening to someone's voice and type what's being said. There was more. I had always had an element of curiosity and exploration, but again, doing it in an office capacity, I would always say, I want to work in, you know, construction or sport, you know, because I knew I'd get on better in those environments. Oh no, but your experience is in legal or in finance. Well, you know, that's what, or property, you know, that's kind of what I kept being popped into. And I just kind of carried on, obviously till I left. And obviously I explored the Sky thing, and I thought, well, obviously I've got more of an exploration mind, hence why that worked for me while it served its purpose until I moved to the South Coast. And then started all over again, part-time job this time, alongside building up the personal training. I just felt like I was the only one doing early and late shifts at the gym, and I ended up leaving. I had enough clients, I thought, right, I'm done. And I went from working in the gym, having to pay rent to use a gym that you can't get on the equipment, to I've rented out a little garage in the middle of a farm. And that's where I had my first personal training studio.
Wow.
And this was kind of like around July, August time, whatever year that was. And slowly got little bits of equipment off like Facebook Marketplace and things like that. And it served its purpose until winter hit. And it got a bit cold, and even with like all these heaters blaring out,
and no one wanted to come again.
Exactly, and a lot of then I started losing a couple of clients because they're like, "Oh, it's too cold." I'm like, you need to work harder. And I ended up taking on a commercial let, and then I had my own kind of warmer personal training studio. And then I went down the road of, you know, quite a few clients would say, "Well, I don't know what to eat," and so that inspired me then to set up a bit of a wellness hub, which was anything around wellness. So kind of got food in, kind of we had people supplying so that if they wanted to grab food on the go, rather than getting like a meal deal, which maybe wouldn't be as healthy or not enough protein, too much processed stuff, it was there. You know, it was a local company. Unfortunately, they're not doing anything anymore. So that helped along the way, and things kind of progressed. And there was things going on. Obviously, the cafe almost took over, and I almost forgot the reason I did it was for my own freedom and to pursue my own passion. And I got stuck in a bit of you might sell a coffee, you might sell a tea, and you know, partner was doing it with me, doing his stuff. He does like hypnotherapy and counselling, and we were trying to juggle it between us, but we're like, hang on a minute, our businesses are our priority, looking after the people we want to look after. And you know, there was a period of time where there was a bit of online slander, which turned into bullying, which is now I still see the person nosing at me now, but I just ignore it. It's like I went from, you know, what was it, about a year and a half ago, just over a year and a half ago, I thought about taking my own life because of this person.
No.
And I didn't want to go out. I didn't, you know, I almost went back in a bit of a shell and was kind of seeing my own space as a negative space. And then I got ill, and I had fatigue, I had burnout, and I think obviously stress
Yeah, of
is
course.
a
Yeah,
big killer.
absolutely, yeah, definitely.
And it kind of forced me to have to do things online and like the combination of things. And I thought, okay,
What
what am I
helped
gonna
you in
do?
that moment? What helped you to go over it?
I ended up doing, because of having to go online, I did a coaching certificate because my partner had overheard me talking in a group call with my personal training clients. He said, you're practically coaching them. You are not speaking to them like a personal trainer. You are coaching them. You are trying to bring the best out of them. And he introduced me to the coaching masters, and I did the certification, and I thought, oh, I want to do more than this. So I went ahead and did the ICF accreditation.
Honestly, you whatever you say, I just can't believe how this story.
Yeah,
Can you realize? I
it's
just
amazing.
do something that's not enough, and that curiosity is driving you. I just love that thing how you went in the gym from the moment that you're not confident at all, you become
Super
personal
confidence.
trainer,
Yeah.
plus wellness,
Yeah.
plus the.
You see little
I love
opportunities and you
it.
grab them.
Yeah.
And I
And
just
that's something special
And
in
I
life.
haven't realised that.
Yeah. It's
But
what's happening.
what is giving you that strength all the time? How you do all these things? Because there are lots of people, I'm pretty sure, that they're not brave enough to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, I had a bit of a, I don't know what it was, like, well, am I going to let this person dictate what I do? No. So obviously then with doing the accreditation, part of it is you go through workshops, you coach each other, and I coach myself as well. And part of it was I was also scared to post on social media for a long time because, well, I'm scared that this person who was lying about things who then made people hate me for no reason, I'm now like, well, they're not the people I want to be around anyway. I don't want to work with those sort of people, and I don't want those people to be friends or, so I don't care anymore. It's got to a point I just don't care.
But is it more self-drive that you had? And
It's a little bit of self-drive with a little bit of encouragement from people around me as well. So part of it came obviously with doing my coaching stuff. And one of the coaching sessions I had with a girl, she was like, well, whatever it was, I can't even remember what she said, but it made me change perspective on, hang on a minute, I'm not posting in case this person or someone knows this person sees it. How is that helping me? It's not helpful at all.
No, it doesn't.
So
you've got to sort of like, somehow you've got to find your own way and actually think, what a minority doesn't matter, but the majority does.
And what I want
and you're
to
doing
do,
something valuable
because we have to
give
believe
something
that
back.
the right people will find us,
Yeah.
whoever is doing whatever,
Absolutely.
because you can't be liked by everybody.
Exactly.
And I think I read somewhere that if you're liked by everybody as well, it's a bit worrying.
exactly.
It's good to have your people, and
Yeah.
that's why we are billions on this earth.
There's
And it's
enough people,
absolutely, whoever needs to find you will find you. And
Exactly.
they're the ones that you need.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not gaining, especially when I say gaining, it's a bit more that empowerment, that energy that go between.
Because we do need positive energy around us, and positive energy breeds positive energy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's a really important thing in life. And I think so many people get, like you say, like this inner, the self-doubt, the difficulty, the struggle, then the minority then overpower, and like sometimes it's a person who tries to knock your confidence,
But it's
pushes
quite
away.
interesting how very often in life we can let one situation, one
and we
person,
spiral
one
downwards.
thing,
We got this
To
bubble
let us-
effect.
To then, I then realised we all make choices, and I chose to not give that thing energy. It's not serving me and my purpose and what I want to do. And yes, things evolve with time, and sometimes things evolve at the time you question it. And actually, I now thank this person. Had they not have done what they done, I wouldn't have maybe gone into a bit of a shell, and I might not have gone online. Had I not have gone online, I might not have done the coaching thing.
Sure.
So I'm trying to flip it.
It sort of
find the
pushed you into a positive way, doesn't it? And that's really important.
Obviously, you turn it, so the credit is to you, because everybody can do a different way. But you took exactly the positive thing out of it.
So
And I love it how it blends now. All this, are you still doing the personal training?
Not so much. I've got a couple of people, but I'm kind of pulling away from that because I want to focus more on the life coaching because I think that has more purpose. And the big driver around that is there have been a lot of clients where the first hurdle, they give up. First hurdle, give up. Right, oh, it's too hard. They don't want to track this. They don't want to track that. And then they're asking me why they're not getting the results they want. Well, you are the one that has to put in the work. I'm giving you all the tools, all the support. And I started weaving in the coaching questions subtly during sort of calls and things like that. And a lot of them do realise the reason why they're maybe gaining more fat. You know, sometimes you put on weight, but it could be muscle and you could end up slimmer. So I don't like to look at the analogy of putting weight on. It's like shaping up. And I realised people's mindset is what needs to change a lot of the time. People want quick fixes. A quick fix doesn't get you anything. And I think the second you start working on the stuff from the roots down, like you've obviously asked me through how my childhood was and career and stuff like that, unpicking stuff like that. There's always something and a reason why, you know, sometimes people get into binge eating as a result of whatever. There's a multitude of reasons that people have. And without uncovering that, you can't really progress. And it's the same in business. Without uncovering, or, you know, if it's self-sabotage or little underlying fears, without uncovering those, we can't really kind of move on. Had I not have uncovered all the things that I've had, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. I mean, how many people would genuinely, honestly say, from feeling like they want to end their life to actually then realising, no, I want the pain to end. This person isn't ruling my life. I'm in charge of my life, and changing it around. You need to uncover the reasons and understand them, change the perspective, and then focus on your own goals. And that's obviously where the life coaching comes in. And I know I can help athletes, you know, any kind of sportsmen, sportswomen, young budding kind of athletes as well. You just don't always know without.
It's really interesting because, like what you've just explained, it's really interesting because I was watching an interview with Lewis Hamilton last week, and he said that the driver he was last year and the person you saw last year, over the winter, he's changed, and that person's no longer present in the car, no longer present in the team, and he's like found a way to reinvent himself and to come back with confidence and determination and to change. You know, and you look at someone like him and you think, well, how could he have possibly got into such a low spot? You know, he's like a multiple world champion. He's done amazing things, and yet that last year or the last 2 years he found really hard. And he just didn't know how to overcome it. And he's come back fresh, looking forward. And sometimes we need, and I'm sure, like sometimes we all need ways to uncover ourselves, unlock the potential back within ourselves, and then we can do something quite amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it takes being at a low to, you know, dust yourself off and start again. And then you start to open your eyes to other things, and it's just then things start flowing. Like recently, you know, since doing the accreditation, like obviously meeting you and talking about the podcast and stuff like that, it's really inspired me even more. And to then have the realisation who I want to help has been a challenge in itself. And it took me quite a while to get to that. And yes, I'll still do all the stuff that I was doing before. Like if someone approaches me for fitness, it will be part of it that I'll need to go through their mindset first to make sure they're not doing it for a quick fix or for the wrong reasons. Or if there's a reason they're yo-yo, whatever it is, diet, fitness fad, why they're doing it, and are they doing it for them? Because there's other things you can do than fitness. You know, you can do like yoga and Pilates, and there's like walks and hikes. There's a lot you can do, but it's knowing the right thing for the individual, which a lot of people don't really look into that.
Escape to luxury at Hempstead House Hotel and Spa, an elegant country house hotel in Bapchild, near Sittingbourne, Kent. Relax with indulgent spa treatments. Dine in style with exquisite cuisine. Perfect for getaways, weddings and events. Experience luxury in the heart of Kent. Book your stay today.
Be the first to discover Kent's best events all in one free app. What's On in Kent is a new and rapidly growing app where you can find days out information, places to eat, festivals, concerts, markets, and much more around you. Just with few clicks on your phone or computer, you can stay updated with real-time info and explore events across Kent. Don't even think twice. Just download. It's free.
Well, a lot of people, I guess, particularly in the area which you're going into, particularly around sport, there's a lot of time where people are together, they're part of a team or they're part of a training, sort of they're going through something, but then they also end up with a lot of time, I'm sure, on their own.
Yeah.
And when they're on their own, they're trying to be successful and trying to have a persona which outside is like confidence and strength. But actually, when they get home and they come into that little home life moment, that's when the self-doubt starts to come in. And it's having that journey, isn't it, from being in front of with a persona to going back and being on your own and being in a situation where, hold on a minute, can I do it? Or getting in there like, watching the telly or finding them and listening to stuff which actually brings them down. And actually you need that something to actually keep you up, keep the positivity really, really strong.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no reason why, they can't be, sports people, footballers, whatever, could be looking at other things that they enjoy. Yes, when they're in football, they have to be focused. They have to be in their football mode, in the zone, and being coached to what their specific thing is or task is for the next game in hand. But like you say, they go home in the afternoon. Some play golf, some play computer games, watch TV, Netflix, whatever they're doom scrolling even, and that can have an adverse effect on your mental health. Yeah, it's good to have a quick flick through, but not when you're stuck in things for hours. And some of them just maybe don't know any other way.
No, that's right.
And, I was lucky enough to remember days before the internet where you had to entertain yourself. You go out, you ride your bike to your friends or whatever you're going to do. Whereas today there isn't necessarily that guidance. And I think it's important that they start their secondary, whatever the individual may want to do, earlier rather than later. Not to take the focus away from what they're doing in the moment, but to find who they truly are. There's a lot of sports people, they start younger years. You're talking like 6, 7, 8 years old. And then they don't know anything else. It's like me, for example, pigeonholed into all these jobs. They've gone through their careers. Well, we'll stick with football for the example. You're going through the academy. Only a small percentage of these individuals make it, or they might get through part of their career and then either out of flavour, or they might get an injury, or things might be going on at home as well. So, some of them go through relationship breakups. Who doesn't? Everyone does at some point. And it can affect their performance on the pitch.
They almost don't need any distractions. I mean, like, to be fair, if you're going to be the best of the best, you've just got to focus on that, and that's all they've got to do. And obviously, life distractions, particularly with sport, and if you want to be the top athlete and be the best, the only way you can do that is just a mindset absolutely has to stay on it.
Yeah.
And all the other distractions. I've heard like a footballer explain about that, like, to me, and I found it fascinating how the only way was he had to put out everything else and just focus on it.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people because everyone wants a bit of life, and there's peer pressure as well amongst friends or family, things like, oh yeah, you need to do this. Like, if you put it all into that, you'll never do it. But like he said, you just had to focus on it, and that was the only way.
Yeah, and it's the same with business, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is,
having that focus, but it's having the balance. So in business, it would be, time in the business, time on the business, and time out of it. So even an athlete needs to have their, even if it's 2-3 hours a week, where it's something where they take time out from everything they're thinking they need to do, they're told to do. So they're doing something of their own pleasure, whatever that may be. And there isn't enough emphasis on that because it is important to have the balance, or you end up with burnout.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the athletes are in a bit of, I always feel for them when you look at them, they perform well, everybody cheer them, love them, etc. And then they do something and they take all the hate, blame, and etc. I really don't know what a mindset you need to have to go through that.
Yeah.
And maybe here it's the place as well that.
And social media does that as well, doesn't it? It's
This is
you know,
coming
yeah.
nowadays, but I think some of them are quite good to ignore lots of things. They
Yeah.
they
You
understand,
learn
but
to.
it's a bit more like, all these newspapers, cameras and things coming after you. I mean, it needs really strong mindset.
Yeah.
And maybe during the career, this is the other thing that they have to build as much as they can.
Absolutely. I mean, exactly what you say with the social media. And if you think back to, was it the 90s, David Beckham?
Yeah, that's the example I
Missing
had.
a penalty or whatever it was. No, he kicked someone, didn't he? And then he got sent off. And then he went from being the nation's love to, he went from love to hate with people. And all the abuse he must have encountered.
For a moment.
Yeah.
Just for a momentary thing that sort of like actually...
Yeah, but how many people can be knocked off? Like that?
Yeah.
And as well as the business,
Everybody has a
someone
bad day.
don't like you, and you can be going down the hill. But have you got a tip for things like that? If something like that come in your mindset, what to do? Like
Well, for me,
few things.
I would say things like, obviously I've gone through an element of online bullying as well. I've just learnt to ignore it. And you might be like, well, how do you do that? Well, how do you know, the person could be a fake profile
Of course,
or something.
you never know, especially with social medias.
Most people who do stuff on social media wouldn't even dream of saying that to your face. And I shift the perspective of everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But if I let in what their opinion is, I don't know that person. If they're here having a conversation about it, fine. I'm always happy to have a conversation, but it's not serving you in, your business, your job, where, your sport. So why do you want to give it energy and focus on, some people might go into like replying to stuff. I call them keyboard warriors, I used to call them. So I just ignore it. I kind of like, okay, that's their opinion. Next.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it does take it takes going through something, unfortunately, to then get to the point of being able to look at something and go, that's their opinion. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
And just kind of move on with it. So
Accept and go over.
Yeah. And everyone has their opinion. It's a bit like everyone supports different football teams, different rugby teams, and so it's the same sort of analogy. Everyone's going to have their opinion.
We need to be different, because otherwise the world will be far too boring.
So it's more of a kind of let them have their opinion, let them do their thing, and if they're so bothered by you that they're going to kind of peck at you like a wasp, then just let them.
You mentioned let them a few times. Did you read the Mel Robbins book?
I haven't read the book, but I do listen to a lot of her podcasts. Yes.
Yeah, amazing woman.
She's also a bit of inspiration for me.
She is a great... Talking about inspiration for you, who else played the role of inspiration during your life?
So I would say, looking at people like Richard Branson and how successful he was with opening multiple businesses, Tony Robbins, Peter Sage, they're all kind of people I like associating with and looking and reading at their stuff.
Do you read a lot? Do you read a lot yourself?
No.
Maybe she doesn't have time.
I don't think I've got the patience anymore. I can't remember the last time I read, but it tends to be if I'm in the car, I'll put on a podcast and I'll listen to something. I forgot to put my thing in the car today, so I had no choice but to listen to radio. I'm like, what is that song? Like, cut off from the world.
Tell us about your radio show. What is this about?
So I have a radio show with my partner. We do that once a week for a local radio station, and it's all around growth and wellness. Every week we cover a different subject around either growth or wellness, or it could be a topic like a couple of weeks ago you had like the Chinese New Year, so it wasn't just about like the year of the horse. We went into it like the fire horse, and then explained all around that and how it can affect people's moods and things like that. So we've covered things like people who say, "Oh, New Year, New Me," and the mindset, what it actually means, and why so many people fail by February, because you've actually told yourself, "Oh, it's a New Year's resolution. Well, February's not New Year anymore, is it? So you've already subconsciously told yourself it's for New Year. So
that's it. How long you doing this radio?
I've been doing that. It'll be 2 years in May.
Wow. Every
Excellent.
week?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
No, but it's good. I mean,
And where can people find that?
Radio Folkestone.
Yeah.
.com, and you can /listen live. It's Thursdays 2 till 4.
Fantastic.
we will try to, wherever we are on the way or journey. Oh, yeah, it will be good to hear that. It's interesting. What are the plans now ahead of you? What you planning to do?
Connecting more back into the realm of sport and football. I am planning to start up a podcast, interviewing former sportsmen, sportswomen, predominantly around mindset, what they could have, what went well for them in terms of during their careers, what they could have benefited from. I've got a semi-pro footballer who will be coming on the show as well. He's going to talk through things like what he wanted to achieve and how it made him feel when he didn't get to maybe top flight football. And also covering things like how each individual felt at the end of their career, how preemptive were they with it, and would some kind of life coaching and care have benefited them before they've come to that point. So a lot of people, for example, would get injured, and you hear ACL is the most common one that can often ruin someone's career. Often, that could the ACL could be the example of having someone end their career early if they don't go through the proper kind of healing and whatever they do to kind of rehab them. It can often end their careers early, and then they don't know what they're doing at the end of it. So hence the importance of not waiting for something to happen, but hence the importance of having that balance, so you know what you're going to get into at the end of your sporting career. Not because you plan to end it early. At some point it will come to an end.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's very good to have that understanding, and that's where the life coaching would benefit.
And preparation as well. It's about preparation for what happens next.
Yeah. And again, looking back to like school years, they make you do mock exams. So it's a similar kind of scenario. You're kind of preparing for what's next. It doesn't mean the end. A lot of people stick in their sports. A lot of people go on and do their...
Because they might go into coaching themselves, coaching in that particular sport.
And, exactly. So it doesn't mean it's the end. It's just knowing what other skills you've got or things you would like to learn to give you the tools to do what you want to do, rather than, again, the same thing, like me going through my sort of working career, being pigeonholed from job to job, agencies telling you, oh, you've got experience in this, so we won't put you forward for that, but we'll put you forward for that. That isn't where your passion lies. And if it's not where your passion lies, you're never going to be quite satisfied. So for me, having discovered actually my passion is around sport and football, why would I not want to help athletes?
Yeah, exactly.
I've gone through an injury myself. About 2.5 years ago, I tore my meniscus, which is like a little flappy bit of thing inside your knee. Excuse the terminology, I'm not a doctor. That took a long time to recover, and a lot of negative thought. Oh, I can't work out my lower body, so I'm not doing anything at all. So again, I had the wrong mindset for myself back then. I'm not a kind of expert with that, but now looking back, if something like that were to happen, I'd be like, well, I can't do that, but I'll do this instead.
This is strong mindset. You took me back to when I was, 16 maybe. We finished the school year, and I think on the next week I went to a party. It was one of the most boring parties I've been to. I went because of my friends. There was one song, I really love it, and I get up to dance. I literally jump once or twice, and something happened with me, and I was on the floor in a huge pain with my knee like that bended, and I couldn't even straighten my feet. So obviously everybody was like, what's going on? My parents, my dad was my always saver. He came midnight to find me. it turned out that I done a major thing on my knee on the back, somewhere on the back of my knee. I broke something. They said, "Are you a sports person?" I was like, "No, I mean, never been like
The
that."
dance.
But it wasn't even like wild or crazy dance, you know. And it was because in Bulgaria we've got usually 3 months like between the years to start.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's happened with me? I end up, obviously they put some stuff, and after that it took me all my summer, 3 months until I started walking again. This was one of the tough lessons I learned all the time. I was waking up with the thing like, what about if I can't walk anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was all the time with this, how they call it, crutch?
Crutches, yeah.
I couldn't. In the beginning, my dad was lifting me and taking me here and there, and I needed to do lots of exercise. And because I'm not a sport person, obviously my body needs much more time to. I remember the first time when I managed to walk 50 meters or whatever, I was crying that, oh my gosh, I might be able one day to walk. And that was the moment laying in the bed at home. I was thinking, start to appreciate every single day because you never know. Something such a, and now when you say, obviously for sport people, injuries are even big impact on them.
They're not planned, are they?
No.
And you start to realize in a small moment like that, oh my gosh, where my life is going.
Yeah.
I was scared a lot that I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah. And it does contribute. And like you say, you were saying, oh, what if I can't walk? And, you know, a similar thing for me. I was told, oh, you wouldn't be able to squat and this and that. I think I was told I'd get to about 70% of what my range of motion was. I can squat deeper. Yes, it may not be with weights, but I've obviously moved on from that. I'm actually training to do the Yorkshire Three Peaks later this year. And
that's going to be
a year ago, I was still getting niggles in my knee. So, and I've got a marathon length walk at the end of the month. And that's me proving.
We obviously, we know
we
that
put our minds to, we can do. I was told, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. Oh, but I want to. And, you know, I obviously make my own informed decisions, do my own research, and making sure I'm fueling my body correctly, like obviously upping the collagen because of age as well, gone through menopause and things. So collagen has been an important part of me recovering with the knee. And if I forget to take it and I go on a long walk, I get all these twinges and I'm almost feeling sorry for myself. I'm like, oh, well, instead of, oh, what if I can't do this? Well, what if I actually took my collagen? So it's kind of
I love
switching
this
up.
mindset. I wish I knew it back then. It took me lots of crying, thinking what will happen next. But nowadays things got mindset is different. But honestly, you are absolutely an example of
Definitely. Yeah.
you can take something small and make it and shift and make it something bigger.
Adapt it to suit the future of life.
Wish you all the best with the podcast.
Thank you.
Keep going with the radio and and the coaching business. We wish really all the best and we're sure we're going to see you again. And before we finish, I want to ask about this tattoo. It's just I can't stop looking on that.
This tattoo, again, it's football related. I was planning a tattoo, but it was going to be, obviously, I'm a Tottenham fan, as I said earlier. It was going to be all around all the trophies that we've won, which isn't that many in the scheme of, some other teams. Obviously, I've seen with my dad some of the success Man United had. And I'd planned a certain tattoo, and there was a whole journey. Obviously, the team I follow weren't doing too well. And even from the beginning of last season, I joked about, wouldn't it be funny if we didn't do too well and we won the Europa League? And we'll probably get Man United in the final. And that's exactly what happened. I'm like, okay, where's my crystal ball? So that was, I went all the way to Spain. The cup final was held in Bilbao. And it was an interesting journey to get there, actually. I chose to get the coach there, which was picking us up. Well, there's 8 of us going from Dover. And the coach actually forgot to pick us up. It carried on to the ferry because they were scared they were going to miss the ferry and they kind of carried on. And one of the guys was ringing the coach company. I'm I thought they were going to be here half an hour ago. Oh, location is actually gone through the customs. So the next coach had to pick us up, and he meant well. He was just trying to get us onto the ferry to then meet up with the coach. So that didn't happen. They then missed it. So then customs come along, or the border police are like, what's going on here? Which then alerted them to the fact that there were 8 people extra, and it was obviously the 8 people they picked up. And they're like, well, you can't do that. It's against the law. So then 8 of us had to get taken off the premises. And we're like, well, how are we going to get to Bilbao? And the company ended up getting it's supposed to be like a minibus to hold us, basically. And it ended up being like a little vehicle. The guys at the back were knee to knee. And I said to the guys, right, we just need to get there. And it was a horrific journey. Like, before we'd even, I think they got us on the Eurotunnel. And before we'd even got there, the driver was clipping curbs, and we're like, oh my God. Then when we got through to the other side, you've got things like people flashing the driver.
You've been on the wrong side.
And I'm saying to him, you need to get those deflectors. He's like, no, it's the cones that are deflecting and that. I'm like, no. So I, saying to the guys, we need to get this guy to sort himself out. And he must have had about 7 Red Bulls, 6 coffees, something ridiculous. Like, he's going to have a heart attack. And he's been tasked with getting us as close to catch a coach. And let's just say it was a horrific journey. We feared for our lives at one point, swearing off and nearly getting taken out by a coach. And I remember saying to the guys, this better be worth it, guys. And we got there. And obviously one of the songs we were singing is How We Get There, We Don't Care. And it was quite funny. It meant a lot more when we got there to then sing that song. And obviously the team went on to win it. And as it went through to midnight, it was my birthday. And we were all still celebrating in the stadium, the win. So it gave me probably the best birthday ever so far. I hope to have quite a few more good birthdays, may I add. And then because I was like, no, it was so great, I have to get this tattoo. And because it symbolises, I did say the next time we won a trophy, I'd get the tattoo. But I wasn't expecting it being, that's obviously the logo from the actual Europa League. And it will just remind me of it.
Fantastic.
No, it's cool.
If I ever
look at that, I love the story.
I forget I've got it now. And
No, since you
It
walk
starts
in, it's
conversation.
just like, but it's cool. And it's not just a tattoo. Look at the story
It's got
behind.
meaning.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely,
it's like everything in your life.
Everyone's
You're
got
the
a
person,
meaning.
honestly,
Yeah,
you're a person that anything you do, there is meaning and there is a purpose, which is brilliant.
And
Thank you.
everyone's got purpose as well. So
They need to find, some people need to find theirs. But that's why the coaches are, isn't it?
exactly, it's why the coaching's here, and that's why I'm starting on my podcast to inspire others to obviously look at the wider picture than what they're doing today. Yes, focus on today, the here and now, but it's important to know your longer term vision as well.
Awesome.
Sonia, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a
great.
pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hope you've enjoyed this morning's episode. Please do give us a like and do subscribe to the channel.
And if you like what we're doing and you want more and more inspirational guests here, please buy us a coffee on the link below. We are very grateful for anything we get from you. Thank you very much and see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.